All right, what's up, guys? So today we're going to be going over fear, anxiety, and how to control it, but really how to get rid of it so that when you're on a sales call, when you're in a high stakes environment, when you need an outcome, it doesn't get in the way. Now, we've probably all experienced where, you feel confident by yourself. You're in the shower, you're thinking about how things are going, and then all of a sudden you get in the situation and you feel that tension. You feel your chest tighten up, feel your breathing speed up, your heart starts racing, and all of a sudden that confidence you had is just gone. What happened? So I'm going to show you literally what's going on in your brain, how to fix it, and then I'm going to hook you guys up with a an audio, something that actually literally just will unwire and get it out of your brain so that before you go into any situation, whether it's a sales call, a meeting, or any interaction with other people, it'll just give you that confidence like insanely fast. Now, I learned this from going through Navy SEAL training, right? I have a little bit of an unconventional background. I didn't go up through the corporate structure. I didn't spend a bunch of time in traditional sales. So this is not going to be your traditional sales training, right? The scripts are out there. You know what to say. Everybody knows what to say. If you don't, it's free. Alex Hormozi's 9-figure sales script is literally free on YouTube. So it's not a matter of not knowing what to say. Another one I hear a lot of times is objections. Oh, I don't know what objection. I don't know how to handle it. It's not that you don't know how to handle the objection. It's that you're not confident that you can handle the objection. It's that fear and anxiety gets in the way. So even if I handed you the perfect script and the perfect phrase, it doesn't matter because if the anxiety is there, if the confidence is not there, none of the words matter. We probably all had the experience where like, I said all the right things, but it still didn't work. I'm going to show you why that's happening. So first, I want to tell you a story. Now, this is a story of two ancestors. So you had two ancestors way back in the day, and they were walking home one day after a busy day of hunting and gathering and foraging and doing caveman shit. And they're walking down this path that they normally walk down. And over here, there's some bushes that they normally get used to walking by. They walk by these bushes every single day. Only this time, as they're walking by, they hear a noise. There's something weird from behind the bushes. Now, this guy, we'll call him person A, has the fear gene. He, through just genetic chance, just got wired and he sees fear and danger everywhere. He's full of anxiety. In fact, anytime something even the most little bit unknown happens, he freaks the fuck out. So he goes past this bush and he says, "Holy shit, that's probably a tiger back there that's going to eat my face. I'm going to run away." So he says, "Not today," and he runs away. Goes back to the village, runs for safety. Person B, fearless, no fear, no anxiety, insane, just almost like delusional levels of confidence. Where he goes by and he goes, "Oh, that's not a tiger, that's just the wind." And you know what? Even if it was a tiger, I could take a tiger. No tiger's going to eat me. So he keeps going by, and instead of running away, he keeps going past the bushes. Now, in the event that it actually was the wind, both guys survive and both guys pass their genes along. But in the event that it was a tiger or a lion or a bear, oh my, something like that, this guy goes by, and the fact that he's not afraid of the tiger doesn't mean the tiger's not going to eat him. So he walks by, and all of a sudden, a hungry, hungry tiger comes out of here, and he becomes tiger food. And he does not survive and pass his genes along. So you run this clock forward over thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years. The people that were wired for fear and wired to see danger everywhere survived because they ran away and they played it safe and they passed their genes along. And the people that were fearless got eaten by tigers or other unpleasant ends. So over millions of years of evolution or design or whatever we want to call it, the people without fear has been inbred. It's been put into us just through generations and generations and generations of people with fear surviving. So what does this really mean? This means that today we've inherited this dude's genes because this dude didn't get to pass them along. So now we are pre-wired, we are hardwired to see fear and danger everywhere. This means in the face of the unknown, our brain goes to the worst case scenario. Well, if it could be the wind or it could be the tiger, it's safer to assume it's the tiger, and therefore I'm going to act out of safety. So the first thing we need to understand is your brain is trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. And it's wired to see fear and danger literally everywhere. This is why we see danger in places where there's not even danger. Right? This is why your brain always goes to the worst case scenario by default. It's literally been wired into us. Good news, though, is that it kept you alive, kept your ancestors alive. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for it. So the first thing to understand is that the fear and anxiety is not actually your enemy. The next thing to understand is there's a hierarchy of things that your brain is looking to check off in order to feel safe. So inside your brain, you've essentially got three components here. You've got the reptile, which is looking for safety. So the reptile is looking for safety. The reptile part of your brain is scanning, saying, is there danger? Am I going to get eaten? Can I pass my genes along? If anything threatens this, if anything threatens safety and survival, that part of your brain will take over and hijack everything you're doing and start running the show. In other words, you're hanging out, you're watching this right now, but if all of a sudden a tiger burst into your room, which would be bananas, but let's say it happens, well, you would forget that there's a Zoom call, you'd forget that I'm talking, you'd forget your own name, because all of your resources would be developed and directed towards not getting eaten by that tiger. So this part's pretty important, and it will always hijack everything going on if safety or survival is threatened. So that's the first part of your brain, the first thing that needs to get checked off. The next part is the mammal. And this part is concerned with social belonging. In other words, this part of your brain is always looking for, am I part of the group? Right? How is this action or this thing that I'm going to do, is this going to raise my status or lower my status in the group? Now, the reason that this is so important is because kind of around the same time that these two guys were trying to avoid becoming tiger food, you can imagine another, call this the watering hole. Right? This is a nice pond. And if these same two people, let's say this guy didn't get eaten yet. Yeah, I'm doing it for one. So the same two people come down and this person's down here and wants to come drink water. But while you're drinking water, your back is turned and it's dangerous. So if I was a hungry tiger, well, I would probably hang out right here and I'd wait for somebody to come down and take a drink. And then while their back is turned, I'm going to go get them and get a free meal. Pretty good strategy. Now, however, let's say though, this guy's down here and another guy comes over and says, hey, you're thirsty, I'm thirsty, but there's probably a tiger up there in those bushes. Tell you what, you know what, go ahead and take a drink. I'll watch your back. Right? I'll watch for tigers, and if a tiger comes, I'll let you know. I'll yell tiger. And then we can either throw rocks at it or run away, or we can do something to not get eaten by tigers. So this guy goes and takes a drink in safety. This guy's his back. And then now this guy goes, hey, thanks. Go ahead. It's your turn now. And this guy goes and takes a drink, and this guy watches his back. And now all of a sudden we have the beginnings of a tribe. Because now when you have a group, when you have multiple people there helping each other out, well, our chances of survival go up because we can fight off tigers. And now let's say there's another guy over here that's like, hey, this is a pretty good deal you guys have going on. Last week I saw someone get eaten by a tiger and that sucks. So can I join you guys? You go, yeah, no problem. You take the first watch. Go ahead. And now all of a sudden we have a tribe. If we really want to get crazy with this, at some point, these guys decided, hey, you know what? There's a lot of us. Let's get some rocks and some sticks and go hunt the tigers and take over the watering hole. And that's why humans control most major sources of water today. It's because we literally hunted the predators. We literally got rid of them. But different story for a different day. So the important thing to understand with this is that being part of the group is not just like a nice to have, but it's literally a matter of survival. Because what's a great way to screw over the group? Well, let's say I'm this guy and I'm supposed to it's my turn to watch for tigers, but I'm chilling. I decided to take a nap, or I decided to go flirt with one of the girl people. Girl people? That's terrible. But primitive women. So I'm this guy and I'm supposed to be doing a job of watching out for the group, but I'm slacking. Well, now Mr. Tiger comes in because nobody's watching doing their job. Tiger comes in and eats this guy and maybe this guy. And they go, fuck. You go, yeah. And they go, dude, you were supposed to be watching. You're like, oh, my bad. And it's like, no, no, you're out of the group. Not you're bad, you're out. You're literally out. That's what we call a freeloader. Somebody that gets theirs but doesn't give back to the group. This is why we hate freeloaders. This is why we do not like people that just take and take and take and never actually contribute anything back. This is also why reciprocity is so powerful within humans, because we understand that I do my part, you do your part, and if we all do our part to help each other out, it benefits the group and it's good for collective survival. So, going back to this hierarchy of the brain, once survival and safety is met, now social belonging matters. Another reason this matters is because the higher my status in the tribe, the better access to better reproductive partners I have, better mating options. So social belonging, really, really important. So once survival safety is met, then the mammalian part of your brain, which is the same part of the brain that kind of works as similar to dogs, like my dog's running around over there, or chimps, or most mammals, operate in groups. This is literally why. So once that's taken care of, the last piece up here is the H, the human part of your brain. And this is the part of the brain that does logic, reason, etc. Now, this is the part of your brain where you come up with crazy stories and thoughts and all the weird stuff that humans do that other animals don't do. So survival safety, social belonging, which is driven by emotion, and then the logic and reason. So if you've ever heard this saying that people buy with emotion, but justify with logic, that's what's happening. They need to check. This is a checklist that needs to go in order. So from the bottom needs to go from survival safety. So we need to say, I am safe. This means when you are going to make a sale, if the other person does not feel safe giving you their resources, they will not do it. This box needs to be checked. They need to feel safe. They need to feel like their survival is improved by taking whatever action you want them to take. Next, you need to trigger social belonging. You need to say, hey, this action, this sale, this purchase is going to actually increase my status in the tribe. This is actually going to give me a better position with the other people in my group. If they think that doing it's going to cause them to lose status or their status to go down or threaten their belonging with the group, they're not going to do it. Once these two are checked, the decision's actually been made. The decision gets made around here. And then the last thing we do is we just justify it, which is why if you've ever seen somebody make a decision then do crazy backwards gymnastics to justify it, that's what's going on. They made the decision for safety and social reasons, and then they justify it with logic and reason. But all decisions, and they've done this on countless fMRI scans, and all sorts of studies proving this, the decision is made right here. And then the last part, the human brain catches up, and then we think, yeah, I thought that through. I was really logical. So you're talking to one of those people that's like, oh, I need to think about it. Well, they don't need to think about it. They're not going to think about it. They actually have made a decision not to move forward because it either threatens their safety and survival, their social belonging, or both. And now they cannot justify it with logic, so they need to justify a way out of it. Does this make sense? This is where this comes from. Nobody ever thought their way into making the decision that you want them to make. They're going to think their way. They're going to think of a reason not to do it, which, as you know, they always do. So understand that these are the two things that need to happen. You need to have safety and social belonging in place for any decision to be made, period. Now, these are the foundations. We need to understand this because this is going to be where anxiety and fear comes from. Not just in you, but in your prospects, in your customers, in the people that you're talking to every single day. This is going on in every single person's brain, 100% of the time, all the time. There are no exceptions to this, ever. Now, here's what anxiety is. So this is you now. And you are super stoked to be drawn like this. Now, there's always a picture in your head, in my head, in anyone's head. Humans, we have this ability to create pictures in our heads. If I ask you to think of what you had for dinner last night, you have a picture that comes to mind. If I ask you to remember the taste of it, you have to bring up that picture. You have to access the picture, the visual image, then access the smell. I tell you to think of what a grapefruit smells like. You have to bring up the grapefruit and see the colors and the shape and the texture, and then you can access the smell. There's always a picture in the head, always. Now, depending on whether that picture is positive or negative is going to determine how you're feeling, whether you're feeling anxious or confident. So you could have two possible pictures for any outcome because this weird human part of our brain can also predict the future. And we can predict that there might be a tiger behind this bushes. So I'm going to avoid it. So this guy, when he was going back down this path, saw a picture of a tiger behind the bushes, even though he didn't actually see a tiger, but in his mind, he saw a picture and imagined getting eaten by a tiger and ran away. And if you want to understand how powerful this is, every single one of you is now imagining a tiger and possibly getting eaten by a tiger. So that's how powerful these pictures are. You can just, they get planted. It's suggestion. This is how advertising works, by the way. It creates a picture of you having a successful, positive outcome with the product that they want to sell you. This is literally how marketing works. So you can have a picture that's positive of something that you want, that feels good and exciting, or you can have a picture that feels negative and feels bad. If you've watched any commercial, we're going through the holiday season right now, and there's going to be commercials for beer and wine and liquor and all sorts of alcohol. Well, what do they show you? Do they show you drunk driving accidents and cirrhosis of the liver and guy getting drunk and punching his wife and family arguments? And do they show you that? No, because that would plant a very negative picture in your head. Does that shit happen? Yeah. Shock, like insane. It's insane numbers where those things happen. Feel free to look up the statistics if you want. I don't find it pleasant, so I'm not going to. But that's a negative image. If they put that image in your head, you would never buy it. You'd say, well, that's an outcome I don't want. So alternatively, what do? They put a positive image. They show you somebody sophisticated and elegant and confident and getting the women or the men and having a good time with friends and cheers and happy, excited, right? That's the image. It creates a feeling. Image creates a feeling. So when you think of Smirnoff, you don't think of the guy drinking a fifth of it to fall asleep or passing out behind the wheel of his car. You think of the classy Christmas party that they showed you on TV, right? That's how marketing works. So there's always a picture in the mind for any outcome, always. So when you are getting on your call and you have fear and you have anxiety, I guarantee you there's a negative picture in your mind. Now, it might be unconscious, it might be subconscious, you might not be consciously aware of it, but I promise you, if you're feeling negative, it's there. If you were walking past the bushes and you thought there was a tiger behind there, you would feel anxious too, and you'd run away. If you did not see a tiger, if you saw a picture in your mind of yourself beating a tiger in a fight because you're so big and strong and such a badass, and then going back and having all the ladies or men, whatever you're into, fawning over you, well, you would have the confidence to walk past this bush. So there's always a picture in the mind. You have it, and your customers, your prospects have it. So the best thing we can do to get rid of anxiety is to change this picture. Because if I see it in my mind, if I see a picture of not getting the sale, of not making my bills, of failing in my career or my job, of getting fired, of not having enough money to buy my family Christmas presents, if that's the picture that I unconsciously see in my head, of course I'm going to have anxiety. That's scary. Of course I'm going to have anxiety if that's what I'm seeing. So if you think this, now reflect this over to your prospects. If your prospect feels like their safety or survival is threatened, or their social belonging and status is threatened, there's a picture that they see. They see themselves not being successful with what you're offering. They see themselves losing status. They see themselves looking stupid. They see their partner questioning them on another bad decision yet again. They see themselves losing money and getting scammed again, right? All these things that they have pictures from things that have happened to them before, and that's always playing. So when you go to ask for the sale and you go to close the deal and they don't do it, it's because there's a negative picture in their head that's giving them fear and anxiety. And now they're going to go think about it, and they're going to go use logic and reason. They're going to think about a way to let you off the hook and they'll give you a very compelling reason why not. They'll give you a great reason. We're really good at justifying things with logic. So understanding this, there's always a picture in the mind. You have one, your prospects have one. A negative picture in the mind will create feelings of fear and anxiety for you and for them. So what we need to do in order to fix this is, it's not about the script, not about the words you say, it's not about any of that. It's literally changing the picture in the person's head and in your head. So if I got on a call, for example, here's what I'll tell you how I do this. I'm going to give you guys a resource for this as well. I'm going to give you an audio that'll actually take you through all this. But if I got on a call and I saw myself not making my bills and things not working out, and I saw this person saying no, by the way, has anybody ever done that? You ever got on a call and just kind of ahead of time, you've just kind of seen it not working out, right? You can just kind of feel it, it's not going to happen. You might almost see the negative outcome ahead of time. Has anybody else felt that? Yeah. Yeah. That's what's happening here. You're seeing a negative picture in your head. It's changing your internal state. You're getting anxious and fearful and you're feeling bad. And then the other person's feeling that. And now they say, wow, if this person feels bad and anxious, they must not be very confident in what they do. So now this person is seeing a negative picture of whatever it is you're asking them to do. Because they see a negative picture, they're feeling bad, they're feeling fear, they're feeling anxious, safety, survival is threatened, social belonging is threatened, and they don't make the decision. Are you getting this? Does this make sense? Yeah. So here's how we do this. Here's how we fix this. Number one, you have to fix the picture in your own head. You have to have the picture in your head of the outcome you want. Now, the resource, the audio I'm going to give you is going to actually have you, it's going to walk you through that and it's going to have you actually change that picture. It's going to literally imprint the picture you want in your mind. That's going to make you feel really, really good, feel really confident. Because if you saw the person working out, you saw the person buying, not only that, you saw the person saying thank you and having a positive experience and becoming a great customer, giving you great results, improving their lives, their families' lives, and helping other people. If you saw this massive positive ripple effect, yeah, I can see some smiling faces too. This is not hard to do, by the way. I'm just riffing here. This is not hard to do. I'm just talking about it. I literally saw 3 or 4 of you guys light up, right? That's how easy this is to do. You just have to control the picture. And it starts with controlling your own picture. So number one, control your own picture. Change the picture in your head to be a positive outcome. If I knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if I knew that everything was going to work out, I was going to get what I want, I was going to help other people get what they want and have a positive outcome, where's the fear? Where's the anxiety? It doesn't exist. It's not there. It's not like it just doesn't exist. But if you didn't have that confidence, then your brain's going to go to the worst case scenario by default because tigers. So number one, control the picture in your own head. Change the picture in your head to be the outcome you want. When you see the outcome and you see that image, you will feel it, and that's where you're going to create confidence from. The other half of this is you got to control the picture in the other person's head. Too much sales training focuses on what to say, going through the motions. Oh, ask this question, ask that question, ask that question. But nobody talks about getting the other person to see the outcome. So if the other person, you can walk them through, and this is why I hate pain-based selling. This is why there's a lot of people like, make them feel the pain, put them in pain, make them feel the pain. I'm like, no, that's terrible. No, like you can do it. It's kind of manipulative in my opinion, but you can put somebody in pain and twist their arm and make them, scramble to get out of it. But I would much rather help them get what they want and see the positive picture and have them excited to buy and say, hey, thank you, not feel bad about it. Right. So when you control the picture in the other person's head, and this is how, so and if anybody, some of you, if you worked with me one-on-one or worked with me privately, I'm all about focusing on the outcome. I literally don't care about your problems. Don't tell me about your problems. Not that I don't care about your problems, but we're not going to focus on your problems because what does focusing on your problems create? Negative picture, negative feeling. And then we're ruminating on the problems. So I personally, I'd rather focus on what do you want? Because you don't want your problems. There's something else you want instead. And if we focus on this and we get you this, the problems get solved in the process. Too many people are focused on solving the problem instead of helping people get what they want. But it's such a negative state. And this is why if you've done, one of the major complaints about the therapy industry, therapy is, hey, tell me about your problems. Let's talk about your problems. Talk about your problems. Talk about your problems. It just puts people in this negative state. They focus on their problems. Instead, what do you want? Right? What do you want? What does that look like? Paint that picture. And when you get somebody else to paint that picture and focus on what they want, now they feel good. Now they feel confident. If they're confident they're going to get what they want, somebody was 10 out of 10, 1,000% confident, or 100%, whatever that math turns out to be. But if somebody was 1,000% confident, 100%, 10 out of 10 confident that they were going to get what they want by working with you or buying what you're offering, why would they not do it? They were totally confident. If they saw it themselves having the result, they're going to do it. The reason people don't move forward is because they don't see themselves getting the result. They see a negative outcome that they don't want. It threatens their safety and survival, threatens their social belonging, and now they're going to use their logic and reason to find a way to not do it. But, and then of course, this all assumes you sell something that's actually good. If you're selling snake oil or you're selling a scam, go do something different. But assuming that what you do actually helps people and is legit, then focus on what people want. Focus on what you want. Focus on what they want. Now, here's the ninja. Here's the ninja sauce to this. Is any human relationship that breaks down because of this thing that I'm about to show you. So you have two people. And this person's happy. This person's excited over here. This person's not so excited. Well, why is that? This person sees a picture in their head. By the way, any relationship, there's a picture in your head of what the relationship looks like. If you go on a first date with somebody, you don't have the picture. You don't see them breaking your heart and ruining your life. You see a pretty positive outcome. Maybe you see yourselves having fun, getting married, having a family, building a legacy together. Right? That's why by the way, if you can give someone that picture that they want, then think they're going to go on another date with you? Yeah, probably. Again, ethically, use this ethically. This is crazy powerful stuff that I've never seen anybody else teach at this level. You can use this to, I mean, historically, countries, dictators, people have used this to manipulate people to do terrible things. So I know everybody here can use this ethically. Use this ethically because this is very, very powerful stuff. But if what happens, here's where relationships go wrong. So two people start a relationship, they go on a first date and they see a positive picture together. They're like, that's really good. I want that. And then what happens is over time, this person holds on to this picture, but this person shifts their focus. So maybe their friends start telling them things, or maybe they start watching bad movies, or whatever it is. Maybe they had a bad upbringing in their childhood and they expect now everybody's going to do something bad after 2 years of dating, whatever it is. But now, all of a sudden, these two people that started out on the same picture, so we talk about being on the same page. Are we on the same page? Do we see the same outcome? Do we see the same picture of what this relationship in this future looks like? So if one person has this expectation, they're like, hey, it's going to be happy, we're going to get married, have a family, and everything's going to be great. And this person's like, they're going to cheat on me and rip my heart out and everything's going to be terrible. Well, it now becomes literally impossible to have a successful relationship. Literally impossible because they're not on the same page. So if you want to fix any relationship, here's how you fix a relationship. Before I've worked with a lot of, mostly the men, but I've worked with men in the context of their marriage and their relationships. And we always fix it by getting everybody back on the same page. It starts with having a conversation about, hey, what do you see? Where do you see this going? Where do you see this going? Literally, it's woven into our language. Where do you see this going? Right? It's baked into our language. It's right there. Right? Hey, where do you see this going? How do you see things going? So when you have these conversations and you can see the other person sees things going badly, you see things going well, now you get on the same page. And you say, great, hey, I don't see that. Let's get on the same page. Let's get on the same page. If you can't get on the same page, the relationship will never work. You've got two people literally running different scripts. But if you can get two people on the same page, then now you have a successful relationship. And 100% of the time, in my experience, I've never seen this not be the case, is when a relationship falls apart, it's because the two people split their focus and they're focused on different things. They see different pictures. And when you get both people focusing on the same outcome and seeing the same future, then all of a sudden the relationship works. Every single human relationship works this way. Every single one. So if you want to have a successful sales interaction, successful customer relationship, then what you've got to do is you've got to not only have the picture that you want in your head, but also get them to that picture. And so this is why I think very transactional, like again, pain-based selling, very like, monetary, just trying to make as much money as I can off people is I'm not a huge fan of it because this person's seeing money and this person sees themselves getting taken advantage of. Usually how that one goes. So instead, for me, every single time I get on a call, single time I'm on with a client, a customer, anybody, I always see for them what they want. I see them having a positive reaction, a positive outcome. I see myself having a positive role in that. So like I said, I literally, before I get on calls, I imagine the person saying, hey, thank you, thanking me for working with me, and thanking me for selling them, because I see their outcomes that positive. And we have the same thing. We want the same thing. I want for them what they want for them. People can feel that. That's why my close rate is what it is. So the biggest thing, if you want to close more deals, I know this is about fear and anxiety, and it is, because we're going to control yours, but you've also got to control theirs and everybody else's, and understand that most people are running around like scared tiger food by default, because that's the way we've been programmed. It's the way we've developed. And so when you shift your focus to something that feels good, Now you've controlled your own anxiety. When you can bring them into this world and this outcome, now you're on the same page. And now you're both confident that we're going to get what we want. And if everyone's confident that they're going to get what they want, there's no reason not to move forward. It's just figuring out the money. So, what questions do you